Okay, well I'm just studying the form for the Cheltenham Festival. I'm going to take you through how to put an accumulator on. I've picked 5 horses, which is generally known as a Canadian, but I'm going to show you a bit of a twist to how to put it on. So, as I said, I've just got the form up. My first horse out of the 5 that I'm going to put in the bet is Rosella. Last year at the festival he was only beaten a small bit by Pedlar's Cross, and Pedlar's Cross is this year going for the champion hurdle, which he's fancied for. Rosella, on the other hand, is going for the Steward's Family Spinal Research Chase, and he's around about 16 to 1, which I think is a good price. He stumbled a little bit over the jumps chasing this year, so let's see if he can get some of his old oomph back. I think he can. The second horse I'm going to put in the accumulator is Poker de Savola. He's out this year on the cross country, which is a bit of a new thing for him, but he's 12 to 1, I think one of the favourites. He was 28 to 1 last year when I bet him at the festival, and he did me quite well there, so one of Ferdy Murphy's good horses. Hasn't been great year so far for them, but Ferdy normally gets his horses right for the festival, so I think we'll be expecting good things. Okay, so the third horse I'm going to put in my accumulator is Dan Breen, who really impressed me a couple of weeks ago at Sandown, where he won, although he was then disqualified by the stewards. So he goes for the Arkle this time at 33 to 1, and I think it'll be really exciting to watch, I have to say. Fourth, now 1,000 Stars I saw win at the festival last year as well, I think with KT Walsh, and he's a bit of a stupid price this year at 50 to 1 for the champion hurdle, so I think it's a good each way bet basically, but I'm going to put him in my accumulator. He's a nice grey horse, so he's easy to pick out in the paddock, and interestingly a stable companion of Hurricane Fly, who's also going into the champion hurdle, a little bit more fancied though. Hurricane Fly has never really beaten 1,000 Stars that much. It's just dependent on whether he can stay up that hill at Cheltenham, but he's already shown that he can do so. I think it's a good one to watch. And last but not least, Denman. I don't think anyone will be able to put me off Denman for the Gold Cup. He showed a great performance at the Hennessy, carrying top weight, and he's since had a wind operation. So I think 6 or 7 to 1 is a good price for Denman, and I think we should see good things from him. But I mean, I've chosen my 5 horses based on their form, and it's always good to see whether the horses that you've chosen, if you're putting them in accumulator, have stayed up the Cheltenham Hill at the end, if they've got course form, distance form, that sort of thing. So one thing to check out. And also some horses come right at certain times of year, so it's always good to see whether March is a good time for their strike rate. So as I said, the bet I'm going to put on is normally called Canadian. Now if you go into the Bookies you get a pre-printed slip, and each bet is level stakes. So your doubles and accumulator is staked the same. And as it's more likely that you're going to get double than a treble or a fourfold, you can stake the doubles higher, as getting a treble or a fourfold is generally more unlikely, but you know. So here we go. In this bet, so we've got 5 horses, that makes 10 doubles, which I'm going to stake to £1 on each of those, so that comes to £10 for the doubles. Next we've got the trebles, we've got 10 trebles, and I'm going to stake 25 pence on those, which comes to a total of £2.50. Here we go. Next we've got the fourfolds. I'm going to stake 20 pence on those, but I'm going to do them each way. So that comes to 10 bets at 20 pence, which is £2. And last but not least, there's the accumulator. There's just one accumulator, which is all the bets. So I'm going to stake 25p each way on that, which comes to 50 pence. So the total bet, as you can see, is only £15, which I think is quite good value. I think, you know, doing a Canadian of this sort of bet at level stakes, it would come to about £32, and I'm a student, so I can't really afford to do that. So I think doing it this way is much more beneficial. I've done this sort of bet a few times before. Last year I won about £400 having 4 winners. The last horse unfortunately let me down, but if it had won at 12 to 1 it would have been quite a few £1,000s, but you know, I was still quite pleased with 400. But on this one, you know, the accumulator alone will come to about £500,000 if all my 5 horses win. So it's a really good bet, and it's quite fun if you have it over a few days to keep the bet running, get more anticipated as you go on. But the key thing to say is don't bet more than you can afford to lose, and just see it as a bit of entertainment. You're not losing money, just think of it as you're going to the cinema or watching a play or something that's money you've spent and for entertainment value. So that's it. Canadian for the Gold Cup and Cheltenham Festival.